All right, welcome everybody. Good to hear you had a good lunch. I'm going to entertain you for the next 10 minutes and hope you already digested some of that lunch. My name is Jan de Wilde. I have been working at Ordina for around 5 years now, a little bit more. I am active as a senior front-end developer and also as a practice manager for front-end. My role as a practice manager is coaching and guiding people in growing their technical and soft skills. So I do this together with my other practice manager colleagues. We have a practice for backend, one for cloud, and also one for agile. So about Ordina. Ordina is the largest independent IT services provider in the Benelux, and our goal is IT that helps people. And with people, we mean clients and developers, since developers are also people. All right, so we have around 2,900 employees. We have around 800 in Belgium. So we did it again. We're again platinum sponsor for NGBE, and there's a good reason for that. 5 years ago, I was hired by Ordina to make front-end grow at Ordina, and I'm glad to say that it worked pretty well. We already have a lot of front-enders now, some people that are full stack, other people that are dedicated to developing nice front-ends. So the reason Ordina is still investing so hard in NGBE is because we believe in it, we see it's necessary, and we want to grow our people even more and evolve towards the future. So we have 3 offices in Belgium. We have one in Ghent, in the Galamco Arena. There's one in Mechelen, which is the head office of Belgium, and there's one in Lummen. And we have clients all over the country, ranging from East West Flanders to Brussels, Antwerp, and beyond. Now, a bit about learning and development. Learning and development is a thing that runs through our veins. We actually tend to do it, learning and development. There are a lot of people that say, oh, I will give you learning and development and this and that. But we really invest in actually putting this into practice. And it already starts when people graduate from school. So we have a Kickstarter program that runs over 2 months, in which the Kickstarters, they get trained in really specific backend and front-end technologies that are suited for the unit they're located at Ordina. So I forgot to mention this, but Ordina is actually a collection of different units ranging from Java, .NET, SAP, business professionals, business platform services, security, design, user interface, and so on and so forth. So then we also have an accelerator program, which is for media and senior profiles. It's actually more or less the same concept, but it's not 2 months flat. You will get trained. It will be broken up into different pieces over a course of 1 or 2 years, depending on how motivated you are to learn. We also put a lot of people to conferences, and we frame it as learning holidays. So our people, they get the chance to go to conferences, but we also give them the chance to go earlier or stay longer, so they can actually combine the conference and learning with their vacation. Then we have lots of competence centers, and each competence center has their own competence lead, and the competence lead focuses on people that are working in the same domain or tries to attract new people to the domain they're working on. The main thing about a conference center is sharing and developing knowledge about a specific topic and growing in that specific domain. We also do lightning sessions to get people inspired. It doesn't have to be work-related. It can be something you did at home. Maybe you hacked a drone and you did some crazy stuff with it. You're welcome to come tell it at our unit or at Ordina. And last but not least, we have Ordina Academy, and Ordina Academy is mainly focused on growing the soft skills of our consultants. It's good we have expert developers, but it's also important to have expert soft skills, so you can negotiate with the clients, have discussions that end up well without a fight. So, all right. So again, learning. We organize already 2 conferences that are also accessible for external people. And the left one you see JOIN, and JOIN stands for JWorks Open Innovation and Networking. Join is the conference of the unit where I'm active in. And Unite is the conference organized by our colleagues at NCORE, who works at NCORE and is present. Good job, guys. And I'm glad to say that these are the speakers we already, or among, we welcomed at the conferences. So I think around 4 of them are present here right now, which is nice. Okay, but now enough chit-chat about Ordina. I don't want to bore you all the time. I'm going to tell you a little story about the digital platform we made, custom tailored for the customer and of course the developers, since developers are also people. The client is active in the public sector and has public and private facing applications, and they have different domains with different teams, which means they're not all aligned. Problem. Soft skills. Okay, so they also have company-wide brand guidelines, and also that needed to be aligned. And the technology stack was mainly focused on Angular, which is good because we're good at Angular. So developers are good at writing software and problem solving, but developers are most of the time not good in user interface design. Who's good at user interface design? Yeah, okay. So we created a pattern library for our clients. So a pattern library is actually a collection of interface design elements that solve common design problems. Okay, so what does that mean? Because you all see things like that on the web all the time. So you have like, MailChimp has their own grid system, how to use the colors, and it's more of a style guide over there. Like material design is more like a complete design system. A pattern library is actually a subset of a design system. And then IBM has also one, this is the carbon design system. It's very large, but of course they also have a very large team working for that specific design system. So the question you could ask is, why on earth would I roll my own pattern library? Because of the benefits. So a pattern library is like a box of Lego blocks. It's predefined blocks. You just take them, you put them together, and it works. It just works. And the reason is, why you want to do this, it makes maintenance easier. It facilitates reusability. It makes it cross-disciplinary. And last but not least, it makes it approachable. So people that don't have the expert knowledge in the technology can also approach it, since it's well documented and since it's all clear how to implement it and how to use it. Now, how do you actually do it? So the pattern library is a collection of integrations, guidelines, interfaces, style guides is included. It has a collection of components, and you also track the component status so people know if it's deprecated or it's new or it's still under development. And you actually go use the pattern library in different apps. Doesn't matter how many apps, but so the cool thing with the client was the pattern library was built on Angular, and so they could build applications that's where the purpose was to just display it in a browser, or they could go hybrid mobile using Ionic, or they could even package it as an Electron app or a PWA. So there's a core team that is actually maintaining or developing the pattern library. That's very important that you have that core team just to make certain decisions and to know where are we going to go with this, so it doesn't get cluttered and there's this clear direction for the future. And then you have the different teams that are working on the different apps. Now, a cool thing about the pattern library is that it's easy to shuffle members from team to another team because they're actually using the same language in the pattern library development kit. And the last but very important thing is you have a complete decision process around this. It's a very large flow. I didn't put it in the presentation because it's kind of boring. But it's very necessary. And the decision process is actually, if a team requests a new feature or something is not actually doing what it's supposed to do, then you can go to the core team and say, hey, I want this. Okay, what do you think about it? You make a draft of it, you make a prototype of it, the core team will look at it, and if they say, okay, looks good, they will adopt it. You can actually write the implementation, you open the pull request, the core team reviews it, and it ends up in the pattern library, and then the pattern library gets published. So we end up at actually this part, the development flow. So developers write everything in feature branches, Git flow, stuff like that. You all know the drill. So you open a pull request, gets reviewed, all well, ends up in Jenkins. And then actually a whole process starts. So Sonar runs and sees if the code is good enough of quality. You run your unit test, you run your integration test, you run your end-to-end test, and if all is well, you publish it to dev. And why do you publish it to dev? Since the pattern library is actually a project you can run autonomously, which shows you web interface of all the components with the integrations, documentations, the style guide, and so on. And the last step is actually pushing it to repository as a dependency. Here it's a nexus, so the people can integrate it in their project. Okay, so very important, release notes. You need to make sure there are release notes so people know if there are breaking changes or there's stuff that changed under the hood, so they know if it will break their application or not. Now, this is all like pretty cool, but what if you end up in a company that also uses React or uses Vue.js or does the micro apps approach or whatsoever? You could go framework agnostic, and then you could actually go for Angular elements, which actually using, it's a talk from this morning. So you go custom elements, and then your element gets packaged with its own runtime of Angular, and you just use it in another application. That would be one of the possibilities. Or you could go to Stencil, or you just go to Vue custom elements if you wanted to do something completely else. Now, the cool thing is, we're almost there, but actually this slide needs to be updated soon because soon Edge is dead and we'll have a new browser that's based on Chromium. So thanks for that, Windows. Okay, that's actually my talk. My name is Jan de Wilde, and if you would have any questions about this topic, please come by and ask.
Thank you very much. How was it?
Great.
Yay! I like